Bro, hold on. You see this dwarf? You see this dwarf? This little shitbag right here. Hey, man. He had some good talking points in the past. But then he absolutely sold his batty, bro. Till you know where. We can confirm.
Human has faced for all of human history. Like, read a book for once.
So actually, Gen Z men are having a hard time, and the data shows they didn't create it. They're disconnecting from work, school, dating, and society altogether, but at the heart of it, from their identity. And yet, they're being blamed
What the hell was Groiper?
For all of it. But why is this happening? In this video, we're exploring the data,
You see this guy here, yeah? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't believe it at first. Cause I don't really go on this side of Twitch. This side is nuts. These men are actually crazy.
The institutions behind this to find
how
out
men hammering their faces.
Exactly how Gen Z men have become so fragmented, why it's only getting worse, and what you can.
I'm not gonna lie, you know the clavicle guy, yeah? He's fucked. Like if he gets slapped anywhere where he doesn't have access to these drugs, he's cooked. His body is dependent on it.
Do about it before it's too late to turn back, because once you see what they want to do,
like he goes to jail, he's dead. Like he's dead in jail.
The spell breaks. One thing is clear, this is a crisis, and this is the most important video I've ever made on this channel. This is why. The truth is that while women are radically—
Yeah, I miss these type of videos, bro. Like, I might just not finding it, bro. I miss when YouTube actually used to make these type of videos.
More progressive than men are not doing well either, just for very different reasons.
I need to know what's going on in this bureau.
There are nearly 7 million men in America's prime working years who are neither working nor even looking for work.
7 mil? What the fuck are they doing? 7 mil?
Simply vanished. But what are they doing? Are they all suddenly crypto millionaires? Well, they aren't in
Whose
school
wallet was
either.
that?
In fall 2021, men made up only 42% of undergraduates. From 2010 to 2021, male undergraduate enrollment fell nearly 20%.
No, but that's understandable though.
7.8 million to 6.5. NCES also reported that in 2022, only 57% of male high school completers immediately—
But you know, I didn't know man went to— You know, people go to university for gender studies and African studies. What are you gonna do with that? How are you going into debt for gender studies? What the fuck are you doing? Like I don't understand. It's like this actual whole what's the word for portions of the university that focuses on this, like whole sections.
Immediately enrolled in college compared to almost 70%.
Who's the target audience for this?
Well, maybe they're out there chasing girls or having families. Nope. Pew reports that 47% of adults under 30 are single, and young men are almost twice as likely to be single than young women.
A woman with a college degree isn't interested in marrying a man without a college degree.
Yo, you see this guy right here, bro? This guy right here is the biggest— I saw my life, bro. I had to delete TikTok, bro, because of this guy.
Has become a luxury item.
Pew also found that a quarter of US 40-year-olds had never married as of 2021, up from 6%.
This isn't the video that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was about—
In 2023, men accounted for nearly 80% of unalivings in the United States. 2021, up from 6% in 1980. And in 2023, men accounted for nearly 80% of unalivings in the United States. We might want to ignore it, but this is the state that most men find themselves in. But if he isn't in the workforce, and he's not in school or getting married, and we only seem to notice him when he becomes—
Are they old though? I'm assuming they're old people.
The tragic statistic.
Because if they were teenagers, you would hear about it. If it's 20, if it's that many brothers.
It is a dark truth that shows the unfairness of the world.
It turns out he's looking for an identity, because getting a job, getting an education, and building a family all assume that you already know what you are living for. Why work if you have nothing to work towards? Why learn if it serves no purpose? Why marry if life itself feels meaningless? These are the questions that modern men are asking, and that has led to the rise of subculture. I mean, why do we have so many of them?
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The phone is actually, bro.
Millions fragmented into tiny, self-sustaining echo chamber worlds, little identity tribes, each one
I had to delete certain platforms, bro. Certain platforms do fuck your head, bro.
Status, and even brotherhood. You have streaming and gaming culture where grown men
you open TikTok, you lost 3 hours
grinding ranks, buying skins, following streamers, and pouring themselves into virtual worlds they will never actually build. You have sports betting culture where
that sounds like RP.
Siena survey found that 52% of men aged 18 to 49 have an active online sportsbook account, and almost 50% of men in that same age range are actual bettors. You have car culture where a man—
What?
Man's identity becomes whatever he drives, how loud it is, how fast it goes, and how many mods he can afford to bolt onto it. You have finance and hustle culture, where young men are taught that their worth is measured by income, leverage, status, and the ability to monetize every last part of their lives. You have tech and science culture, porn culture, red pill culture, meme and irony culture, mountain crunchy nature
porn culture is crazy.
Biohacking culture, collector culture, bodybuilder influencer culture, political tribalism, trad masculinity culture, prepper culture, dopamine and travel culture. The truth is that never before in history has society been so fractured into tiny, isolated subcultures built around hyper-specific interests that rarely meaningfully interact with each other. But out of all of these growing subcultures, two are now rising above the rest.
We use crystal methamphetamine as a stimulant and to lean max.
The first is Looksmaxxing.
Kala, they gotta take this nigga out, bro. He can't be allowed to be spewing this bullshit, bro. They gotta take him out.
On the surface, it might just look innocent, but it's not just gym culture, it's not just fashion, it's not just skincare.
I'm getting jaw surgery soon. They basically make a cut.
What's the point? Yo, bro, I can't this is what I mean by he's an addict. When is it gonna stop?
And then move it forward and apply screws. How much is that gonna cost? 35,000.
I'm absolutely gone.
Well, he doesn't even seem like he's there. He seems dead.
Now, Pentastack is Adderall, DXM, ketamine, BDO, and Pregab.
It's an entire worldview built on the idea that a man's value is determined by his face, his frame, his symmetry, and his ability to optimize.
See, this guy looks gay. Yo, that guy there?
Man's
that guy didn't even look, he looked gay as shit.
Value is determined by his face, his frame, his
like, what the fuck is this?
And his ability to optimize himself.
You can tell you got a nose job.
Means necessary.
And it teaches and reinforces something called the black pill, which is
Kent.
the belief that looks determine how you are treated in the world.
And it's no longer fringe. One of the biggest Looksmaxxing hubs, Looksmaxx.org, drew about 4 million visits in March 2026 alone, with about 1.25 million from the US. Another Looksmaxxing site pulled almost 500,000 visits in the same month, up 31% from February. GQ reports that Looksmaxxing has exploded from old incel-adjacent forums into mainstream TikTok culture, to the point that the PSL rating system is now all the teenagers are referencing. Clavicular, now one of the most famous faces of Looksmaxxing, promotes bone smashing, literally hitting your face with a hammer to try to reshape the jaw and cheekbones.
You know, like bone smashing?
So you do it here, and just to get like the cheekbone more.
You know what it is, bro? I think the problem is, Mackenzie, right? We've given too many people voices. We need to go back to the reality of not everyone matters. There has to be a subsection of humanity that are absolute cannon fodder. Respectfully, we live in a time where we're like, yo, everyone matters, equality, everyone has a voice. No, everyone doesn't deserve a voice. I'm sorry. You don't need a voice. Shut up. We don't want to hear it. Like, real shit. We need to actually bring back bullying, because it's gone, bro. It's too far gone. I'm gonna be real. I don't care about this equity, equality bullshit, bro. We need to go back to if you matter, it works. If you matter, your voice will be heard. Respectfully. Like, from when you have brothers that have never, women and men that have never succeeded in relationships, that are giving dating advice. How does that even make sense? That's like me going bankrupt to every business I made, but I'm out here giving Forbes advice, saying, yo, I can make you a millionaire. It doesn't even make sense. And it's actually taken in. It's taken in. I'm like, what the fuck? How does this even make sense? And then it's the toxic side as well, bro. I'm gonna be real. If your wife goes on TikTok and asks them for advice about your relationship, it's curtains. Throw her out of the window. Throw her away. And if your husband watches this guy, he's gay. Like, what are you talking about?
Prominent?
Yeah, so I'll like lay in my bed and punch myself in the face.
Says he began ordering.
You know what it is, Mackenzie? They sacrificed the millennials and the Gen Z. They sacrificed. They said, fuck it, I'm not gonna lie. For 1,000 years, it's been getting a bit boring. Let's just fuck up 2 generations and see what happens. Let's just absolutely mentally fuck them to the max. See how far it can go.
Testosterone and fat dissolvers online at 14 years old, claiming he may be infertile from years of steroid abuse, and uses meth.
I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, right, we got fucked, but at the end of the day, like, Gen Z got fucked, right? But at the end of the day, at least the younger Gen Z went outside and actually socialized to a certain extent. These men that are coming up now, the new generation, bro, they've had an iPad since before they got slapped out the womb. They had iPads in their hands. They're actually gonna be fucked. They're gonna be actually antisocial fat fucks. I'm gonna be real. I don't think any of them are gonna be social.
Amphetamine to suppress his appetite. He had nearly 180,000.
Like I didn't get a phone until I was like at least almost a teenager, like 13, 14. You know what I'm saying? Or like 12. Facebook came out when I was like finishing primary, like when I was in year 7 or year 8, something. I think so. Like these men are born on Instagram. It's curtains. It's over for them. But Facebook back in the day used to actually be fun though. Like, you know, social media when it first came out, people actually used to put their government names and all that shit in their faces. Like, you just search someone's government name, it will come up.
Kick followers, more than 760 TikTok followers, and earned more than $100,000.
Now everyone got burners. It's over.
From Kick in 1 month. Now, all of these things are eerily similar to some of the values that modern transhumanist thinkers like Peter Thiel are pushing.
Do you know?
I can't believe how much I learned from you. How did you learn so much about the world?
What am I hearing, bro? What am I hearing? No, real shit. One second. I actually need to find out. I actually need to know where this is coming from. I'm hearing it, but I'm not seeing it come up. Anyways. And Mackenzie, I think it's just like, man, I'm just normalized getting advice from the internet.
He's a billionaire that owns
I don't know who takes advice, actual advice from streamers. I will never take it seriously.
Palantir. I got invited to a Peter Thiel.
Unless they're breaded, of course. Then I'll take bread advice if they got breaded in what they're advising. For example, you got bread from a business, we can have a discussion. If you got bread from selling courses, I'm not taking you seriously. Like, what are you talking about? Guys sell courses to get breaded and give advice about bread.
You think that's gonna be a Diddy party? Probably.
But we'll get to that in a little bit. But at this,
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The AI shit will actually fuck your head, bro. Cause, bro, I was using ChatGPT. No, I was using Grok, right? Just like to fix paragraphs and shit when I was writing stuff, right? When I was doing some other stuff for work, bro. It made me depend. Like, it got to a point where I was like, I was getting foggy. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what to write. Fuck it, I'm just slapping in there. It makes you like retarded to a certain point. I'm like, okay, cool, I can't use this no more. Are you telling me facts?
At the same time, a counterforce is rising. Christianity. Gallup's new data shows that.
Bro, it made I'm like, my memory is good in it. I started being like, oh, I'm not bothered to write it, and I would like depend on it. I became like borderline retarded.
32% of young men ages 18 to 29 say that religion is now very important in their lives.
What? How much? 41%.
Almost double from just a few years.
What the fuck was that? Is that the Orthodox?
Years ago, and 40% of young men now attend religious services monthly or more, with 20,000 brand new converts to Orthodox Christianity this past Easter.
Since COVID, since 2020, they've just come.
Now I reckon they went to Orthodox because Orthodox is like one of the only ones that are left, right? Like Pentecostals have been grabbed, Evangelicals have been grabbed, Protestants have been absolutely put in the grave. I don't even know who still identifies as Protestant that isn't gay.
Droves. He's accelerating. Snowball. We do respect men in a way that a lot of other churches don't.
The golden question is, though, who is going to win man's identity? But in order to understand all of this and where it's heading, we really need to understand.
You know, I never understand, right? And I'm genuinely still trying to understand it. You know the people that make their whole identity politics, right? They're like, oh, I'm fighting the patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for the climate. All that bullshit. You know how they get. But they're like, okay, cool. I'm a Christian, but I'm fighting the patriarchy. Did they not understand the retardation in that point? How you, what? What are you telling me, H?
Where this all started.
What's New Era saying?
Because
I be liking your shit sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. What's New Era saying?
Forget what they are. For most of human history, a man's identity was not something he had to invent. It was embedded in reality itself. You worked with your hands, you lived near your family, you were known by your community, and you were measured against something real, tangible. Then everything began to shift. Industrialization was the first fracture. For thousands of years, a man's work was tangible. A farmer, a craftsman, a builder, you could see the result of your labor. It reflected you. It disciplined you. It tied you to a place and a people. But with the rise of the industrial system, that all changed. Work moved into factories.
What's going on, bro? Bro, best server since V3. Absolutely
then
not.
Into bureaucracies, then into offices. Tasks became more and more specialized, fragmented, and increasingly.
Now you know what it is, Mackenzie. I finally felt like that mind virus. Because when I got banned in D10, right? I'm on ban now, of course. I got perma banned like last year, August, and I was just like, hey, I just stopped caring. You know what it is? I knew I didn't care about RP no more when I got banned in there. I was like, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, yeah, it's over. The chapter's over.
Abstract.
I'm now waiting for the computer to answer me, and then I just flick a switch on the modem and replace the receiver.
Even those who celebrated industrial progress recognized that
New Era is the best for RP right now, no cap.
Lost. At the same time,
Oh, no,
family
man.
structure began to erode as well. The multi-generational household, where fathers, sons, uncles, and grandfathers all lived in proximity, started to disappear.
I'm gonna jump on D10. I'm gonna see what it's saying first. I don't want to play New Era, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Big Iraq, bro. He moves weird, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You remember me in V1? I was banned every fucking week. I was banned more than I was playing it, bro. And I followed the rules. I got banned from like shit that wasn't even in the rules.
Industrial economies demanded mobility. Men left home for work. Families became smaller, more isolated, more fragile. Even secular sociologists like Emil Durkheim warned about this. He used the term anomie to describe a state where social norms collapse and individuals are left without clear guidance or purpose. And think about the world we live in now. When was the last time someone corrected you or someone...
What gang you in? I saw you like with it looked like Italians. I was like on the train, so I didn't really listen, but I was watching.
Looked out for you.
10 hours, 3 days straight. No, but I feel like because you haven't played it in time, H, you're like, yo, but you're in the honeymoon phase.
Today's world, you can go years and years without interacting with anybody if you really want to. And then for the first time in history, something even more radical happened. Mass media. But before we dive into those, I just wanted to say that it's really difficult to find sponsors for videos like this, and so this one is sponsor free. The fact is these videos do take weeks to produce each in terms of research and production, and currently I am a single one-man team. But luckily, my supporters over at buymeacoffee.com/lungsoffaith help make these videos possible.
Now, you know what it is, bro? We actually need to bring awareness to the absolute predatory activities that do occur on this shit. I'm tired of niggas using 5M as Tinder. I'm tired of this shit. If you're over the age of 30, get the fuck off the game if you're on that bullshit. Respectfully. Especially the single mothers. They'd be the worst.
So if you do like these videos, please consider donating over there. It really helps support the mission and get this information out there to the world. And something that I do...
Like, respectfully speaking, bro, if your kid is crying in the back while you're playing 5M, your priorities already your priorities are fucked up, bro. What are you doing here, bro? I'm tired.
Over here is that supporters at
and they know who they are. I'm not saying name. They know who they are.
A month plus are credited as producers with real input on future topics. Back to the plot. With the rise of newspapers.
Grooming? Was it a man? Nah, if it was a man, it would have been it would have been bigger. A female, I'm assuming. Because if it was a man, I would have heard about it. I knew it. Because if it was a man, hey, niggas act like the whole world stopped. When it's a female, it's like, he's a lucky bastard. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same when it's a female. I disagree, but like I'm saying, nobody looks at it as the same. I seen niggas say, even when it's a female, she's still the victim. I'm like, he's a kid though. Nah, but he's the one doing it though. What? What are you talking about? Bro, have you seen the way the news articles, like they make it, so when, like when the teachers, that's a woman, gets caught. She was just going through a lot of family issues. She was having divorce problems. And she was vulnerable. Sorry? She's a teacher. What are you talking about? I'm with Chapo on New Era. Shit feels lit right now like fire. What do you man have? I'm assuming you guys have a plug. Oh, UK guys? White or black? I'm assuming black. Because this sounds like some degeneracy.
Film, television, and eventually the internet, the image of what a man is supposed to be was no longer primarily shaped by fathers or communities.
Oh, you talk about that K Sosa shit.
Millions of people.
You talk about the K Sosa shit. Oh my god.
Once, by whoever had the money to decide what that would be. Identity was no longer received. It was broadcast, packaged.
Yeah, no, of course. And I kinda, that's when it's more fun though. You know when it's more RP as opposed to sliding, that's when it's the most fun. Bonnie Blue, that thing there needs to be absolutely put on public trial, and actually, you know, like we need, for her specifically, we need to bring back, you know, the public beheadings. Like public punishments need to happen. Like everyone gets slapped in Oxford Circus, and there's like the stage at the front, because these type of crimes need to be shown publicly, and everyone needs to see it. There's no like cameras. I feel like cameras will take it away. You need to see it in the flesh. Blood falls on you while it, you know what I'm saying, after it happens.
And consumed. Figures like Edward Bernays openly spoke about this shift. He described modern society as one in which, quote, the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits.
I'm not gonna lie, you know who else announced it, bro? You know Ted Kaczynski Mackenzie. I watched his documentary back in the day in Netflix. You know the Unabomber.
And opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. In other words, culture itself could be engineered. And when you combine all of this,
I don't know, bro. I saw this video. I thought it was about some other shit, but I'm too deep in the rabbit hole right now.
Alienated work, fractured families, anonymous cities, and manufactured identity, you don't just get confusion. You get a vacuum, a blank canvas, a space where something used to be that is now missing. And the question is no longer just what happened to men. The question is who or what stepped in to fill that void.
Fairs.
While the Industrial Revolution was reshaping how men worked and lived,
something
else was quietly unraveling beneath the surface at the same time that cannot be ignored. A far more radical shift.
Our particular concept of a free society, I don't think that...
This is what Hugh Hefner looked like when he was younger. This is what he looked like. I've only seen him old.
Sin should have any particular place in secular society as such, because it's a religious concept and should remain there.
Most people assume that the sexual revolution was primarily about women, but that doesn't actually make sense if you really think about it. Like, why would a transformation that rewired something as fundamental as sexuality only affect half of humanity? If you change female standards, then the weak majority of men will adapt to them. And if you want a whole video going into this topic in great depth, I have several on the sexual revolution.
What the fuck?
That are a must-watch. But a question on many people's minds is, if society was really so Christian before all of this, and men were so strong and moral, how did this movement even have such force? Wouldn't men have just resisted it? Well, because the idea of that perfect pre-1950s Catholic America is nothing but a mere caricature that modern traditionalists like to cling to. In reality, things weren't so good in America already. The existing breakdown of so-called Christianity in the West was reflected by waning service attendances amongst...
Why did he... What is this blurring? What is this? What is he blurring? It's the 1950s. Surely it won't be nothing crazy.
Roman Catholics and Protestants. Religious formation was weak, shallow, and most people already...
Why did they always bop in suits though back in the day? Why are they always in suits? I never understood
Even
this.
though it didn't look like that on the outside. And so men fell for it. At its core, the sexual revolution separated sex from responsibility. For most of history, sex was tied to marriage, family, and consequence. It carried weight. It demanded something of you. Commitment. But beginning in the mid-20th century with the normalization...
Shut down Deep Throat. What the fuck?
...of contraception, the collapse of sexual norms, and the cultural upheaval of the 1960s, that link was severed. Even the most influential figures in the sexual revolution, like Wilhelm Reich, argued that traditional sexual morality was a form of repression and tyranny. Around the same time, Alfred Kinsey published very controversial reports using data from minor rape victims that reframed sexual behavior as something fluid, widespread, and detached from moral structure totally.
Many of Kinsey's findings and techniques remain controversial, including his occasional reliance on the accounts of admitted child abusers. Still...
Okay, am I bugging, man? Who the hell is writing down those type of thoughts? At that point, you want to get... I will never understand this. If you're writing down crime, why would you write it down? Why would you write in a book? It's like you're trying to get grabbed. Like, what are we doing here? This is rookie mistakes. Keep it in your head. What are you telling me, Inky?
He's widely hailed as a trailblazer in a previously taboo field.
And they received millions and millions of dollars in grants and funding from the Rockefellers.
Youth Doll Women's Bureau.
His first grant in 1941 was $1,600. Not too much, but by 1947, his project was pulling in about $40,000 to $100,000 a year, which, keep in mind, is about $600,000 to $1 million in today's currency.
What?
These ideas didn't stay academic. They reshaped culture, and when sex is no longer ordered towards responsibility, something strange happens. It becomes consumption, and pornography is the...
Gay is good, try a piece.
clearest example. What was once hidden, rare, and socially condemned is now instant, infinite, and algorithmically delivered, and the effects are not subtle. Studies have linked frequent pornography use to increased loneliness, decreased relationship satisfaction, and distorted expectations of intimacy. This diagram here shows the reward center of—
I'm trying to understand how they manipulate a whole generation of thinking porn was empowering. I'm trying to understand it. How you managed to swindle that? How have you managed to swindle that? Yeah, you don't want to be objectified unless you do it to yourself. What?
Your brain. This is it on heroin, and this is it on pornography. They're practically indistinguishable. The truth is, you no longer have to build a life.
How do they get these screenshots?
Align yourself with something on the internet. And
how do they get the screenshots? I'm bugging.
It aligns very closely with the—
Who's taking happiness advice from this guy? He looks crazy.
World Economic Forum statement that you will own nothing and you will be happy.
The transition from—
You see, off the rap, he's German. I'm not taking him seriously. But that, if you hear the accent, you already know he's on some bullshit.
The industrial to the intelligent age is occurring at an
So the German accent, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not trying to be racist, none of that. It sounds crazy. Like I just hear, you know, bro with the mustache.
Exponential pace.
For decades, figures like Klaus Schwab have been openly describing a future defined by what he calls the fourth industrial revolution, a world where technology doesn't just change how we work, but fundamentally reshapes how we live, relate, and even understand what it means to be human. He writes that this new era will blur, quote, the lines between the physical, digital, and biological spheres. At the same time, thinkers like Yuval Noah Harari have gone even further.
Why would he let someone take this pic? Like what? But I'm not gonna lie.
Describing human beings
I feel like I'm
as,
just.
quote,
But I feel my head's gone, bro.
Desires,
this guy looks crazy. Who did this photo shoot for him?
Decisions and even identities can be understood and eventually engineered through data.
We need to realize that humans are now hackable animals.
What?
You can hack them.
I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
You know, the whole idea.
Yo!
idea that humans have this soul or spirit and they have free will, that's over.
2 minutes later.
Personally, I feel most for really the soul of my country, of my nation. In Israel at the moment, there is really a battle for the soul of the Israeli nation. But it never faced a catastrophe like we are dealing with right now, which is a spiritual catastrophe for Judaism itself.
And when you take a step back, you start to see the pattern. When you look at guys like Peter Thiel, the World Economic Forum, and all of the global elite, they commonly hover around and agree upon 3 main stated goals that we really need to understand. First, technocratic control.
No, but they did it though. I'm not gonna lie, they did it. I don't know how they managed to find a way to make a pill to make women like basically infertile for like a month. Like I want to know how they managed to stop women from getting pregnant.
You could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
The old Marxist revolutionary fantasy of simply overthrowing the system through open communist revolt largely failed, and especially in the West, because it was just too obvious. It declared war on the existing order in a way that ordinary people could see, fear, and resist. But that doesn't mean that the deeper impulse disappeared. It simply adapted. And this is where you need to understand who the Fabian socialists are. And I have a video that goes a lot more into detail about the Fabians that you should watch. But for the most part, you need to understand this. To make it simple, there are 2 main schools of thought. There were the Marxist revolutionaries who thought that they could simply overthrow using violence and force, and the Fabians were another group of communists, but they disagreed with the Marxist approach. They favored an approach called gradualism, and this is where the idea of
the Fabian Society, that's what it's in the UK, that's in London.
In its modern context.
And hella Labour Party, I think every Labour Prime Minister was a part of them at one point. Keir Starmer was a part of them.
Control opposition is when a system allows, amplifies, or even subtly steers a supposed rebellion so that the rebellion never truly escapes its desired orbit. It looks anti-system, it feels anti-system, but in the end it only drives people into a new position that is still useful to the system, controlled opposition. And we can see it with our own eyes.
What the fuck?
That is what makes the modern culture war so revealing and obvious. On one side, the public...
See, why is this allowed? I'm confused. Why is it, like, oh, no disrespect. Why is this necessary in public?
is hit with increasingly radical forms of gender ideology.
I miss when we hid shit. I miss when people like kept shit to themselves. Remember privacy? Like, I miss that.
Politics and the soft feminization of man. This is kind of the caricature that people have of Marxism. When you say Marxism, they think a blue-haired, fat, liberal woman on the street screaming with a sign up. But in reality, that is what they want you to think Marxism is. And when they place this new icon into society, the result is outrage and disgust and backlash. But that backlash does not automatically produce Christian men. More often, it produces an overcorrection and a more sort of libertarian right wing. Think more like Ben Shapiro and the whole Daily Wire sphere. A meme-driven, hyper-ironic, aestheticized right wing that looks rebellious but still bound by post-enlightenment, classical liberal, modern ideas, which are completely safe to the system.
I want to thank all of you who have turned out here, want America to continue to grow and be strong so that we can beat all the libs.
Second, economic disruption and dependency. You might look at those statistics.
America just looks like, you know, it's obviously the internet makes it look crazier than it is. America just seems like it's on, like it's just a headache.
Of all these men dropping out of the workforce and think that it's some accident, but the World Economic Forum's own Future of Jobs report said that by 2025, 85 million jobs may be displaced by a shift in the division of human labor between humans and machines. That is not fringe speculation, that is elite planning language.
It's already passed.
And once millions of people are pushed into unstable, fragmented forms of work, i.e. the gig economy, the next step becomes easier to sell. World Economic Forum published arguments have already said that the old income system is irretrievably broken and that we urgently need a 21st century income distribution system in which a basic income plays a central role, UBI. In the same piece, Guy Standing describes the modern precariat as people living in, quote, bits and pieces, life unstable, often unpaid labor who increasingly lack agency and sovereignty. Yuval Noah Harari pushes the logic even further. He warns of a coming unworking class and asks, what should we do with all the superfluous, aka useless, people? The real climax of the whole project is not just behavioral control, but rewriting what man is.
We need to realize that humans are now hackable animals. You can hack them.
What?
For centuries, the modern post-enlightenment world told us that reason was neutral, that facts spoke for themselves, and that things are just obvious, and that morality could be built on autonomous reason and man alone. But now even the architects of the New Order quietly are admitting that technology is not value neutral at all. A World Economic Forum white paper argues that fourth industrial revolution requires quote-unquote values leadership, meaning leadership based on actual values and worldviews. And another World Economic Forum piece goes even further, saying that in the machine age, quote, the entire moral code may need to be rebooted. In other words, this is no longer about tools. It's about building a new moral framework, or you could say a religion, to fit a new technocratic world. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Let's ask ourselves, do we know of anyone or any figure or any movement that seems to perfectly fit like a glove into this new world order that these elites have described? Well, let's look at two different archetypes. First, the modern Looksmaxxer, the self-improvement optimizer, the aesthetic machine, someone like Clavicular. What makes him so revealing is that he keeps many of the traits the modern world claims to hate in men, seemingly quote-unquote right-wing traits, strength, aggression, ambition, competitiveness, hardness, but strips them of any higher purpose. They are severed from duty, sacrifice, and God and turned completely inwards towards vanity, pleasure, status, and self-obsession, by his own admission.
Like maybe you have this perspective because you've got your own show and you've got a lot more influence over the way that the country goes than just your average guy. But if you're just like one of the average viewers who's got no voice, who could risk potentially losing their job for saying the wrong thing in politics, I'm saying that they shouldn't really be concerning themselves with trying to change the tide of society.
This, my friends, is a disabled man, a castrated one, like a soldier without a firearm, disarmed, made self-satisfied, easily controllable, and that is why he is not a threat to the system at all. He looks strong on the outside, but he is perfectly safe for the world that made him. He will never build a Christian civilization. He will never father a holy family. He is too busy turning himself into a useless machine. Now compare that to an Orthodox biblical Christian man. Take St. Paul. Paul was not weak, passive, or soft whatsoever. He was in fact known for being extremely intense, disciplined, zealous, and courageous, but after Christ seized him on the road to Damascus, those traits were transfigured. They didn't go away, but they're reoriented to a higher purpose. His strength was poured out in withstanding beatings which he endured for the truth, fasting, imprisonment, and labor for the church. His intelligence served truth and pursuing others towards Christ, not manipulations for gain's sake. His boldness was not performance, but fearlessness before men because he feared God, not men. His freedom was not the freedom to indulge himself, but the freedom to master himself and to spend himself for something eternal. To endure beatings, name-calling, imprisonment, and torture for the sake of truth. And that is exactly what modern man is unable to do in his current state, and why he remains so hopeless, because he is afraid of enduring the torture of what might happen if he stands up for the truth.
But I reckon the difference is, Paul knew for sure that God existed, you know what I'm saying? These men clearly don't believe in God. Paul knew, he got confirmation, like it got sat on the table in front of him.
But the truth is that before Saul became Paul, he very much
so
really identified
with
this lost modern man. In fact, even worse, he persecuted and killed Christians. But Christ nevertheless met and spoke to him on the road to Damascus. In less than an instant, Paul was converted and changed forever. And there is no reason why this cannot happen right now at this very moment with every man who hears the word of God, to be transformed into the greatest sword of God against the modern heresies and antichrists that are trying to use humanity for satanic and profane purposes. So
the era of free will is over. What? How did I let him post that?
2026, and things are not looking too great. But there is an upside to all this. This darkness is not just meant to paralyze you, it is truly a grace meant to show you exactly what Satan fears most. If it were truly over for us, the elites would not be fighting so hard, pouring so much energy, resources, and money into stopping true Christianity. Not an outward, vain Christianity just in name, but one that is unafraid of the cross, one that is unafraid of going